pleasant good morning to one and all. Good morning and welcome to today's episode of Speaking Out, Exposing Corruption and Incompetence. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Today, Wednesday, the 31st day of July 2024, the last day in the month of July. Welcome, one and all. And as you come on, share the live, and give us a thumbs up. Give us a thumbs up. Show your appreciation. And we are going to bring you the valuable, credible, truthful information. Sure, share the live. Here we are again for another episode of this very interesting program, Speaking Out, Exposing Corruption and Incompetence. I know, Lord, how it has been exposed over the past weeks in particular. So continue to share. And I know the interest is growing because I can see that from the attendance in the schoolyard, and when the program gets going, the large number of people on the live. And we appreciate your efforts to be here with us. And we are going to make every effort to make sure we do the research and we come and we bring you the credible, valuable, truthful information. So share the live and we're going to get started. My colleague, Mr. Conway, is already in the studio. We have lots of students in the schoolyard, a record number, I must say. And once again, we got a little problem this morning. I got a little problem with the internet, and I came out and I came back in. And when I came back on the platform, the first 83 students in the schoolyard were removed. What I kept I usually keep records, so I know all those who are here, what time they came in. I have the school register. I have the class register here, so I know those persons who came on. But you know, it's as I told you, I have no control over that. If for any reason you have to come out of the studio, get back in, you tend to lose some of the people, the comments for those who are there. And this morning, I had a little internet issue, and it stopped working, and then I was forced to get out and get back in, and then the first 83 or 82 dropped off. So yes, this is the day. Notwithstanding all of that, nothing is going to stop us from bringing you the information. Nothing, absolutely nothing. I said before, only the grave can stop me from telling the truth. Only that. And only the good Lord will determine when that time comes. So I say to you, share the live, give us a thumbs up. This is the day that the Lord has made. Let's rejoice and be glad in it. Let's give praise and thanks for being in the land of the living. It's a privilege to be in the land of the living and to be comfortable and to be able to live with your conscience. Many of them are in the land of the living, but they get things on their chest, they get things on their conscience. They can't sleep properly. They got to be walking and looking over their shoulders. Many of them are thieves, nothing more. That is what they are. You have to call them by their correct name. They are thieves. They are corrupt. They are incompetent. They are dishonest. And I'm going to call them out. We are going to call them out. You have to know who are the ones, these thieving, these people in your midst, you know. Some of them dressing up and parading as if they are saints. No, they are not. They are dishonest. They are that dishonest. Are we going to continue to talk about them? We're going to continue to reveal them. So yes, here we are again this morning. Share the live. And I encourage you to subscribe to the channel on YouTube. When you get to the YouTube, you hit the subscribe button, then you hit the notification button to get a notification whenever anything is posted and when we go live. On Facebook, you just like the page, follow the page, and you will get similar notification. But I've said we have lots and lots of students in the schoolyard this morning, and I'm going to run through quickly the roll call. As I indicated to the first 80, I have noted the first 83 students, we will not see your name appearing there because you were taken off from the chat, but I have a record. And the first person, the program was scheduled just about 7 o'clock this morning, and immediately the program was scheduled. The first person in the schoolyard was Patricia, and it's Patricia G from New Jersey, followed by original black man early here this morning at 7:01. Then it was the man from Peters Island, the East Bank, Anthony Bradshaw. Then Carlton Lewis, my squad mate, Winston Kilkenny from California, Carl Johnson, Sidney Fredericks, Vibert John Barled. Then we had John Cummins, Dennis Moore, and Dennis is from Florida, Richard Truss Shetred. Joan, that is Joan Robertson. Kevin, Tessa I from Florida is here. Joseph, and that is Joseph McDonald, Randolph Jr., 12538. I remember the number very well. Then we have Clarence, Sean, Maxwell, Eric, Batch 8218 from New Jersey. Then it was Ray Barnes, Simple, 10009, 10079, I think was his number. Simple. Then it was Anchor Paul, Peter Noons, Anthony Jarvis, Akko Gonzalez, Gavin Jacobs, Jakey, welcome. Then it was Derek Trotman, and Kenneth DeFleurmont, Raul George, my Redman friend. Then it was Puran Ramdas, Cecil Ogle, Felicia Lewis, Evelyn Nelson. Then Pauline McPherson, Francis Kitt from Melinda Mashana, and it was Vibert Lawson, 9066 Lawson. Then it was Wayne Little from the UK. Leon Gibbons. Leon, you said this morning your number 6661. I didn't remember your number, but I remember your squad mate 6660. Joe Reese from the TSU. And I also remember 6690 Pablo Yewood. He said his number this morning, there, Leon. Then we had Magnell, Eric, Earl Abrams, Gary Barrow, my squad mate 9556, Gaston Taylor from Canada, Melissa Gordon, Aubrey Pantless, 9053 is in the house, Lennox Anderson, then we have Randolph, Ian Lucius, Dennis Buka, squad the secretary, Kevin Adonis, Debbie Collins, Marcia Fordyce rather. Then we have another Desiree Liverpool, Patricia Atterley, Sherwin Pierce, Rhonda Chance, Carla Jacobs, Lynette Fraser, Lynette is from the UK, Terence King, 9135, he's from California, Isabella is here, Morton is here, Sandra, this is Sandra Hanover. Then we have Jacqueline Clark, Courtney Saul, Terence Young, 9795 from Canada. Then it was Evelina, Malvok 5, Tilula, Winston Collins, Barbara Barrington, Clive Nesta, Colin Burnett. Then we have Norbert Spooner, Sharon Corbin from the UK is here, Glendon Wilson, Glendon 0540, my old Namibia colleague, he is here with us. Then we have Essie Azor, Alison Richards, Leon Schwartz. I missed you for a few weeks. 10025 Schwartz is back in the class in the schoolyard. Then it was Colin Allen, Marcus Skinner, David Austin, then Ainsworth, Mason K is here. Those names that I just called, those first 83, they are all off the chat at this stage. And then the first person you will see there now is Danny. Then it is Floyd, Pito, Pamela from West Dem. Inferno Boss is here. K. Orin from the UK. Then it is Emerson. Kerry from Maryland is here. Then is Lyndon, and this is Lyndon Hopkinson. We have more Lyndon William. Then it was Fergus Kamabaj, and it was Roxanne Lucky. Lorraine is here. Then after that is Tamo Brennan. Then Brian. Brian, thank you for the birthday gift. Thank you kindly for the birthday gift. Paul is here, my old shootmate, Paul Archer, my one-time captain in the Rifle Association. Hazel is here. And then Neville is with us as well. Claremont John, Patricia, Aileen, the female umpire, Moses Barrow, Doreen Gibson, my squad mate from Canada, W349. Then it is Davey Samaru, Ulrich from Crane, West Coast Demerara. Carl, my squad mate from Arizona. He's here. What he saying? He's saying he morning to the two professors and to all students, friends, have a blessed day and a wonderful day. So sad to see the Guyana police force going down the Demerara River. That is what he says. Rastaman is here. Conali, Henrik, Michael, and then it's Duan, and then Morty is here, former regional chairman, Region 10. Umi is next. Then Everett, and Everett came in at 908. Then Mary Smith from Brooklyn, Lynette Scotland this time, Howard Barlow, Annette, and then it was Charles. After Annette is Charles, and I put it up Charles. Then Maureen, Nigel Oresho, Lance, and then after Niger's Lance is Colin. Colin Stanford, 11872 from Queens, New York. Then it was Monica. Then after Monica, we have Siobhan. Then Eric. Ras Ricardo is here. He says better late than never. You're not late. Then Benjamin, Trevor, George Calder from BV is here with us. Then it is Dennis Sagan from Barbados, Old Traffic Man. John Knight is here. Sean Rabindranath from Schenectady, New York. David Lindo. Rohan is here with us. Colin Ari from New Jersey. Ronald is here with us. Then it is Kurt. Kurt says number is 14598. Then we have George Mars. Queenie, welcome. Jacko from Georgia. I think he was the last time he said he was in Springlands. Jay is here. El Ben. And this is Leslie, Corinne. And then we have Farina. And then it is Troy R. Crawford. And this Crawford is from Texas. It's not that R. Crawford. This is the one from Texas. Rhonda from the Amstel. Welcome. Rhonda is here. Roderick, Norbert, Melville, Jerry, Chilo. Barbara Ross is here with us. Gordon from Canada. May is here. Allison, Colin, Aaron, 6984. Colin's the old transport man. I remember you well, Colin, the old transport man. Samuel, Dwayne, Stefan. Stefan worked with me in A Division. He was the barman there for a period of time. Bonita, Denzel, Bert, Vernon, and then the man from the East Back, Vibert is here. Jano, Lyndon Johnson, better known to us as Cornbread, is here. Then it's Orville, Delan, Boo is here with us. Thomas, Sean, Sandrine, Selwyn, my lawyer is here, and Selwyn says karma is having its way with those over at Eve Leary. I will talk about it a little later. Beatrice is here with us. Then it was Marvin, Dwayne, Courtney, and after Courtney, who else? Let me see who else. Audrey. Audrey is here with us. She says she's watching from Maryland. Then it is Lyndon Ferrier, David, Lennox, Patricia, Ruth. Then it was Ivla Joseph Simpson, former national cricketer, police cricketer, 0539, I think it is. I can't remember. I got to know it. I don't remember all his number. But Simpson was one of our better batsmen, better opening batsman at that. I never see, when you look at cricket, you talk about the person playing the hook shot. The hook shot. I have not seen anyone playing a hook shot better than Simpson. And I'm talking about even with the international players. Simu was a great hooker of a ball. So if you miss your length, you get the back foot and he pull you for 6. So welcome, Simu. Mary is here. Jerry, Marva, Carlton, and this is Carlton Smith is here. And Carlton was the last man. So when I told you about the number of students in the schoolyard, you understand what I'm talking about. Lots and lots of students. And then when we went live, the first person was Lennox. Then he was followed by Karen, and then Joan, then Elvis, then Carlton, Lynette from Barbados, Rita, and the list goes on. Trifosa from my cousin from Badafawaktin on the east coast of Demerara, and they're all here. Commissioner Cole is here as well. Petal, Eureka is here with us. So, yes, we have all of those forces. Let me make the announcements very quickly, and then I'm going to bring in Mr. Conway. The computer going to have to sleep. Hold on. Let me make the announcement. The first announcement I know that I have to make. Hold on. One moment, please. One moment. The computer decided to go to sleep on me. But it's open up now. So, yeah. As I said, this is the day that the Lord has made. Let me condolences first to Gavin Primo. We told you that Gavin's mother died sometime when she was buried on Monday. Can you believe that Gavin has now lost his mother-in-law and his sister-in-law? I think the same day that on Monday when his mother was buried, Gavin's mother-in-law passed away, his sister-in-law. And in case you don't know, Gavin's wife is former Assistant Commissioner Carol Primo, very decent woman. Carol lost her mother and her elder or eldest sister within a short space of time. So in that one family, 3 deaths, one buried on Monday, and then they have 2 over there. This thing, well, I said the Lord don't give you more than you can bear. So condolences to Gavin, Carol, and the Primo family. Condolences, deepest, sincere condolences to you. And then I got word yesterday and this morning of the death of a former rank from the presidential guard, Brentnell Pollard, ex-presidential guard rank. I think they said he passed away yesterday somewhere in the U.S. So condolences to the relatives, friends of all those persons. In terms of birthday greetings, today is the birth anniversary of the Deputy Superintendent, Frank Jackman. Jacko used to be at the finance office, and he's one of them that they trumped up charge to try to get rid of. We're going to talk about all of those things. Wicked and vindictive people, wicked and vindictive. So when people say that karma is a bitch, it is. Karma is coming back to bite them in their backside. So we're going to talk about it. And then we had the birthday recently of ex-member Lincoln Andrews. Lincoln came to TSU and used to work with me. I think 7676. Lincoln, very decent man. When he was transferred to TSU, I think I was an inspector there, and I had Lincoln work with me dealing with disciplinary matters. And we have had the birthday too of Andre Kelman. He is a manager or some senior person there at the Jagan International Airport, a good friend of mine. And we also had the birthday recently of Mr. Denny, Fabian Denny. I don't know if he is a regular in the program, but I know he writes in the on social media some very interesting articles, and I would follow him. He had a birthday recently. So congratulations to all those who are celebrating today and all those who celebrated recently. Let me bring in Mr. Conway, and then we are going to move on. CC, welcome. Welcome.
Morning. Thank you. Happy to be in the land of the living to do God's work, and they cannot stop us from doing God's work. They might interrupt it, they might delay it a bit, but it's got to go on. My condolences to Gavin and his wife Carol on the passing of their close relatives, and congratulations to all those persons who celebrated birthdays. So let's get on with the work, Paul.
Yeah, let me start off by wishing, I'm sure you're going to want to also say happy Emancipation Day to all our all Guyanese of African descent. We got to say it correctly, all Guyanese of African descent, happy Emancipation Day, which is tomorrow, August 1, August the 4th. Slavery was abolished in Guyana on the 1st of August, 1838. People will tell you that it was actually 1834, but then they had that 4 years that they call it apprenticeship period. And it was finally abolished in 1838 on the 1st of August. So we of African descent will normally celebrate that day. And this year, as you would have seen, all the shenanigans. This is on August Monday, the 4th of August every year, way back when. You have this big thing at the national park. I think it was the Guyana Broadcasting Corporation used to organize. You remember the thing, eagle to cannon crow, come in, eagle to carrion crow. But we don't say carrion crow, eagle to cannon crow. And you saw it was so much fun. Board racing competition early in the morning. I remember I was a man who used to mind me Tawa, or some people call it bastard. And used to go there early in that morning for the board race. Because remember, in those days, it was the first Monday in August, not necessarily on the 1st of August. The first Monday you saw the celebration. But we look forward to that. So much fun. This time around, the PPP, the government, they have organized a parallel event across the road from the national park. In other words, they advertised it as free, and they're trying to detract from the main function. That is the division that is being created in the society. That is the division. And then they're going to open them out and tell you about one Guyana. One Guyana. Traditionally, all the years since I was a little boy, since Noah was a boy, celebration, August 1, or the first Monday in August, August Monday, right? Africans dress up in the dandan, like you see me and CC dress up with the little African colors and so on. And we go to the park, the African food, kanki, and the meteji, and all of those things you will get selling there, and you will take part and you eat, people dress, their family go out. They suddenly decide that this year they have a parallel activity across the road, and say, and you want to tell me that is not trying to divide us African people? And when you talk the Ethnic Relation Commission and all of them and say you're showing seeds of division and answer. Not me. I'm just reporting what is happening because it is a fact that they have this activity there, and they're telling people you must turn out free. When they tell people turn out free, who you think going to an emancipation function? It's black people. Whether you want to admit it or not, is black people. So when you have a function there and you're talking about free, is black people you are talking about to go there free. So yes, and we have tonight, you have a big activity at Buxton Line Top as they usher in Emancipation Day. I remember the soiree at in Bobby's. Then I know Denamstel in Rwanda organized, and many other places, Ithaca and those places, they organize those African communities organize activities to commemorate the abolition of slavery in Guyana. And it should be supported by all Africans, and not only Africans or people of African descent, all Guyanese. All Guyanese should go. If you're talking about unity, we should go and we should support. And it was noted that when you have other activities, such as the Hindu activities and the Muslim activities, nobody attempts to divide anyone. It is celebrated. When you see Pagua, go into Albaistan, which is a predominantly African area, you're going to see how people celebrating, regardless of the religion. They're celebrating. You see it as a national holiday, right? So let's understand that. So tomorrow is the day, the 1st of August. I think it's a national holiday in Guyana, and people go out, have your day, get your picnic, and celebrate your heritage. Let me bring in CC, and I show you the one to wish you. I see somebody complimenting us on our African wear, CC.
Thanks for the compliments. I want to wish all those persons, Guyanese on the whole, tomorrow, happy Emancipation Day, although they're trying to divide us. And who's being it? I think one is the husband of a minister of government, Kwame Mackay, and others, and they're trying to spice it up. I think they're bringing some Jamaican entertainer or some kind of thing, but they're talking about one guy, and what they're trying to divide. Just opposite, a couple of yards away, they get the parallel thing. Boy, I know Guyanese, and I tell the Guyanese, don't go for no freeness, man. Go to the national park if you got pay your money. Go and pay your money, man, and enjoy it. I will enjoy it because this morning I had to grate some coconut because my wife making kanki and she making cassava pone, so and I had to peel the cassava and grate it. So I will enjoy it, and I hope all other Guyanese, everyone enjoy it, apart from those who will go into Maltino Sports Club.
Well, somebody's saying on the chat they have moved the venue from Maltino to somewhere else, exhibition center. Somebody's saying so I don't know what it is. But wherever they put it, it's a clear case of them attempting to divide the African community. That is what it is. It is nothing more than that. You have to call it for what it is. Call it for what it is. Because as I've said before, this is not an activity that ACDA now organized. It has been going on for years. And previous governments, the same PPP government, ministers and presidents and prime ministers used to go to the ACDA activity and walk around in the national park and greet people and so on. But suddenly now they decide they're going to have a parallel activity and they're talking about unity. No, they are out to divide, and we must not let them divide us. And this is not a political speech. It is part of the whole theme that we have here about corruption. It is corruption. It is corruption for them to do something like that. Now, having said that, as I've said, somebody tonight in Bedford, in my village, the majorettes are going to be walking around, marching around. They look pretty in their outfit, and they will go around and they swirl their baton and the thing. I remember some years ago, they were on this truck. The truck had the music set. And when they reached the street by Me Slow Street and Kwamina Road, they stopped there and they twirling, and the song they playing, go down. And then the next, the generator in the truck caught fire, man, big fire. You see bail out. I always remember that. It was so humorous at the time. Nobody got injured. That is why we could laugh about it then and we could laugh about it now. So the majorettes in BV are going to be marching around the village tonight. And I'm sure other villages will also have their activities which should be supported by all. Now, in moving forward, I read, every day you see some things. I'm coming to the police now. I know enough about the police, so I'm coming to the police. I saw an article, it is when, yesterday, from Newsroom. Newsroom, I'll tell you how Newsroom is PVP mouthpiece. The article is captioned here, 52 new detectives graduated from CID induction course. Well, I know you have a lot of former detectives like Danny, and those guys are on this chat. And those who are not on the live will see this. So I got to find this out. 52 new detectives, and basically what they're saying, the other detective induction course, where 52 ranks from the general duties attended this course, and they say, well, other agencies do not know police. They say, President of the setting, well, let me go into that part. They say, they successfully completed. The course consisted mainly of police ranks, as well as personnel from the Ghana Defense Force, Ghana Fire Service, Ghana Prison Service, and the Ethnic Relation Commission. So the ERC now went for detective training. And what they're saying is that Crime Chief Wendell Blanham, during his address, welcomed the new detectives to the world of criminal investigation and reminded them that detective work is not for the faint-hearted and that under his command, meritocracy will be the key to their advancement in the department. Now, this course, according to what they're saying, this was a 6-week course. 6 weeks course ended. And the point I'm going to make here now, and the older police will know, after 6 weeks in an induction course, the crime chief referring to them as detectives. I know according to the Saninaras and according to all the precedent, they are not detectives. They should be now aides to the CID. In other words, they should be assistant CID. You want to tell me that 6 weeks training and a man can turn detective 6 weeks training? If that is the case, no wonder we have all these problems we have in investigation and all that. Because when persons are put on that induction course, the CID induction course, CC going to talk about, he knows a lot about that. When they successfully graduate from the induction course, they are made aides to the CID, aides. They are aides to the Criminal Investigation Department for a period of time. Can't remember the exact period. And then when they show the aptitude and the knowledge, then they are confirmed as detectives. Publication is made in force order and all of that. That they are now detectives. But as it is now, they should be aides to the CID. But maybe things have changed. Maybe things have changed. So after 6 weeks, a man now is a detective. My Lord. And I say, if that is so, no wonder you get all of these problems with investigations and matter going to court, matter getting thrown out, because a man cannot be a detective. You cannot make a detective in 6 weeks. You can't, no matter how bright a young constable is, because constable is going detective induction course. No matter how bright that constable is, you can't turn it into a proper detective in 6 weeks. Understanding how the case caters to that. They can make them aides to the CID. They are put to under someone who will mentor them. And then at some stage, a report is submitted and they are made detective. Mr. Conway, you were in charge of training for a number of years, and therefore I'm sure you would want to say something on this. You see, I'm sure you would have read the article. After 6 weeks, the crime chief said, you welcome in these 52 new detectives to the CID. What are your views, my brother?
I read the article, and it was shocking because it certain information that I was looking for, I didn't see and I didn't find in the article. For example, what was the selection process? How were they selected? I know what used to happen, that they have to be recommended, the divisional commando in collaboration with the CID people, that they recommend you, and you have to show aptitude. And you can't just join the work overnight and then they go on the courses. You have to be a general duty man or somebody, or a special duty man, or something to go on the course. And then I was reading, looking for information, and I find it, because I would like to know where it be the objective. And then I looking for course content, and I use a phrase, core subjects. What is core subjects? And I want to know what is the methodology that they use, how they assess the people, and how they evaluated the course. When I look at it, well, China is in shambles too, And then even the leading methodology. I wonder if what's basically what's going on now what the police training environment. And I ain't calling it no academy, that the police training environment, if it was basically chalk and talk. Did they have question and answer sessions? Did they have discussions? Did they have video conferencing? Did they have demonstration? Did they have hands-on learning? Did they have role play? Did they have case studies? Did they have simulations? And then how did they assess them? Was it did they have um essay type question? Did they have multiple choice? Did they have the other form of assessment? I really don't know what really Claudia, and then how did they evaluate the course? Because you assess the participants and you evaluate the course. Did you look at their reaction to learning? Did you check and see whether they learn anything? And then are you going to check later on to see whether they're able to put what they learn, if they learn anything, into practice? And when they go back there, there can't be no bloody detective. They got to be aid to the CID, and they got to work under somebody. They got to work on person who could mentor them, who could mentor them. They got to be mentees, and we don't have mentors. Years ago, Paul, you used to hear about a good detective sergeant, an excellent detective sergeant in several divisions, but you don't hear that. You don't hear about good detective divisional officers. I always remember this detective superintendent in a division, I think his name is Singh or something, when he cautioned in the mayor, pull out a piece of paper and read a caution. He can't say, "You are not, do you wish to say anything? You are not obliged to say anything unless you wish to do so. But whatever we say, we will take note in writing and giving evidence." He can't answer, so you got to read it on the paper. So they go there and they get lost in the woodwork because there's no proper body to mentor them. The different there, we don't have outstanding detective SOs. We don't have outstanding detective officers. Yeah? And when they go to station now, they don't turn detective. They're detectives, so they're left on their own. They work by trial and errors. It calls for proper mentoring, proper exposure, proper evaluation, proper assessment, regular reports on them. Then before they will be recommended to be members of this CID, and then it will publish in the force order saying this person is now a detective. That is how I know it. Well, I didn't get too much to think about the course, how the conduct of the course, how it was. When all I hear is but 6 weeks, and they had some GDF and some other people there. But who were the facilitators? Who they had? The thing is basically, as I heard this morning, was basically chalk and tag. And chalk and tag don't get its time and place, but that shouldn't be the dominant factor in terms of the training.
Yeah, you're correct. You're correct. Again, people are saying all these older policemen who know the system. You can't be a detective in 6 weeks. You can't be inducted, go on the CID induction course, and after 6 weeks, you are referred to as a detective. And this is the crime chief referring to them. He said, "You welcome the new detectives." This is the crime chief saying so. So something is definitely wrong. Back in the day when I was there, I lectured on a few CID induction courses because one of the courses I did at the FBI Academy was crime scene management, and I brought back a lot of literature which I would share with the people, things like things dealing with the Lockhart theory of transfer and all of those things. I would share and encourage them to read. I get some of those things still, and I'm willing to share with people who want to learn, because me having the information, I can share it here. But then I have notes and all of these things that I'm willing, crime scene management and all of those notes I had from the the FBI when I went there. But again, some people mentioned some names there. You have some outstanding detectives, people like, and there's some of them are still around. And I said again and again, when you have these courses, it might serve you well, to invite some of those persons, people like Alvin Smith, who was still around, Henry Chester, people like, and they have so many others, the names don't come to me immediately, Michael Marks, and a lot of experience, Ivan Walters. You have a lot of people around, a lot of people who I'm sure will be willing to impart some of the knowledge and share some of the experiences with the young policemen. Because Mr. Conway made a very important point. Who were the facilitators? Who were the facilitators? And I would say to them again, seek assistance from people. You haven't bothered with Sloan Conway, because Sloan Conway are deemed to be anti-police, which we are not, and therefore we are person non grata. And you're not going to want to get from us, but we're going to share on this platform. But they have people in Guyana who are going to be willing to come and to, when you have these courses, and any time you invite them to speak to the ranks. I hope that they take that up. I hope that they take that up. But let me move on. Let me move on. The next thing that I want to talk about briefly is CC. Some weeks ago, there was the big thing about this leaked promotion document. You know, a recommendation, the extended squatter, the acting commissioner, wrote a document, said that the senior promotion board met on, I think it was the 4th of July, and he named the person who were part of that meeting, and they recommended a whole set of people for promotion. And in many cases, they did not follow the guidelines that were set by the very police. Force Order 25 of 2021, I think it is, 25 of 2021, issued on the 25th day of June 2021. Force Order sets out the criteria for promotion from the rank of deputy superintendent to commissioner of police. They set it out, the police force set out the standard. And many of the people who they recommended did not meet the criteria that they set out. I know I had argued that the police force had no authority to set out any criteria for promotion from inspector to assistant commissioner, because the Constitution says that those promotions are made by the Police Service Commission. So the police can set criteria for promotion for the Police Service Commission. Police Service Commission got to set that criteria. But then I learned through confidential source that this document, apart from the errors that we have pointed out, it's a whole false thing, because the persons who they list as being in this senior promotion board meeting, 2 of them were not there. It is confirmed that one of those persons was out of the country on duty. And people said another one might have been out of the country on duty at that time. It's just lies. It's just lies. So the document that they're sending, I don't know, I understand, I didn't read the Police Service Commission yet. Wherever they send it, it started out with the acting commissioner, the extended squatter, setting out that this board met. I think he stated some time that they met, who comprised the people who met there, and who was the secretary. All of that is stated. And I smelled something wrong immediately, because I told you, and I'm repeating it here, I've been in the system long, you know. And not when I say I was in the system long, not only in the force long, but when it came to junior promotion board and senior promotion board, I sat on those boards for a number of years. And I can tell you this, when I sat on the junior promotion board, the commanders, the divisional and branch commanders were afraid of me. You know why they were afraid? Because they can't get anything past me like that. They can't come and tell me that this man, they're not recommending this man for promotion. You have to explain why you're not recommending it. And when you recommend and you try for put up, you got to get the file to back up. So I was a thorn in their side. Thorn in their side with that. You can't try to deny a person promotion and then put in one of your people. You got to explain it. And I sat on the senior promotion board as well for a long time. And I can tell you, the junior promotion board is chaired by the man in charge of administration. And the secretary to that board is what we used to call, the person used to hold the rank of the Staff Officer Administration 1, SOA 1, used to be the secretary to that board, this junior promotion board. And the senior promotion board is chaired by the commissioner of police. And the secretary is the person in charge of admin, assistant commissioner or deputy commissioner admin. So when I saw on this list, this leaked list, another officer as the secretary, my antennas went up. Something smelled. I smelled something wrong right away. And it is now being revealed that, hey, there was no meeting. At least those persons that they list were not on the meeting. That is the level of dishonesty you have. That is the level of dishonesty they have in the system. A document emanating from the office of the commissioner with the commissioner acting signature on it. There's a lot of errors, including the people who were said to be at a meeting at the time. My lord, corruption, you're talking about corruption, they're so corrupt, they can't help it. Yeah, somebody, told the detective, somebody mentioned Philip Armstrong. You know, I was trying to remember the name. Philip is my friend. Very, very good detective. And as we said before, Philip worked with me in the A division. I want a crime file, get to Philip, and Philip write. Philip used to write pages, and turn back files. So by the time it got to you, the commander, you were confident that all the bases were covered. See, let me bring you in with this promotion list, man, and this fictitious thing with people who are said to have been at this meeting and were not even in the country at the time. Let me hear you, my brother.
Let me just add to Philip Armstrong. You know, he was my commando. He was my detective officer when I was Commander West Dem and when I was Commander Borbis. And he's a frightened for send file to him, especially when we're dealing with causing death by dangerous driving, where the detectives have to spearhead those investigations. And what they used to do sometimes, they used to bypass Philip and send the file straight to me. Well, I used to rub with them, you know. I used to minute it. DDO, your comments, please. So I got straight back to Philip. Like Philip Armstrong and people like Marlon Chapman and them people. Those were excellent the detectives, and there are so many more. But coming back to this list of persons recommended, you rightly said, you know, Paul, that the police can't set criteria for promotion for the police service commission. Is the police service commission responsible for promotion, discipline, appointments, discipline, and those things? That is the police service. So the police could say, but then if the bloody service commission is a rubber stamp, you know, we expect 2 years go past and thinking, and they can't get they can't get anything. And they can't even send a list. Normally you send a list, hey, promotion, you want to do promotion, let me get your list. And when you look at that list, oh Jesus, it riddled with supersession. It riddled with supersession, and not a word of justification. Not a word of justification, you know. And they're recommending people for promotion, and the most they get is 4 sentences. You're recommending a man for promotion, he's superseding the 20-something people, and you're going to write 4 sentences about him. And then the line too, because the man in Barbies, they say get a degree from the University of Guyana. He didn't get no degree from the University of Guyana. Perhaps he get a degree from the University of Kanchi or the University of Palmyra. And then perhaps he didn't want to cross many rivers to get another degree. Perhaps he didn't want to cross the Kanji River, the Borbis River, the Abai River, the Maikoni River, the Maika River, and the Demerara River to go to the University of Uitlaft and get a degree. You know, the thing is so, and then I think let me call him. And then they put McBean who was the secretary of the board. I don't think McBean was even there. And the secretary is supposed to be the admin man. They're supposed to be Brutus. Maybe they just start sidelining Brutus there. But according to them, he was there. And the whole thing, I don't understand what we're on there. It's bluff. And I said bluff is a two-way thing. It's either you succeed gloriously or you fail miserably. And they fail miserably with a little recommendation that should be scrapped. I hope that they took it at the seawall a couple of days ago when they were doing the cleanup campaign. I hope they took it at the seawall and then throw it in the Atlantic Ocean, you know. Maybe that was part of their cleanup campaign. But it is an atrocity. They're playing with people's lives. They're playing with family lives. Huh? Playing family lives. Lying and lie, and still more lies. And lies get consequences. And you're playing with people's future. That's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. But then if you tap people lying, perhaps they say, monkey see, monkey do. If they tap lying, the police gonna lie too.
Yeah, you know, and in that document that you're referring to, They have Brutus listed, but I remember them saying Brutus, they have his designation as the head of special branch at that meeting that is supposed to have taken place to the senior promotion board meeting, which we hear that people who are listed, they were not even in the country at the time. But they have Brutus listed. They have Bodram listed, who is the admin man, but he surprisingly was not the secretary. They have McBean listed as the secretary. And as you said, some people, including McBean, might not even have been in the country at the time. But that is what they do. They just lie. And you know, the thing, when you send something like that to the commission, because the commission is staff or is comprised of people who don't know or understand the system, that is why they can do that and they could get passed. That is why they had to try to remove us from the police service commission, because them think they're getting passed. They could tell you those who were in the system. When the recommendations came, we went through it with a fine-teeth comb. You can't just say that a man is to be superseded. Why are you superseding a man? Why a person with seniority is being superseded? You might have justification, but tell us what the justification is. You can't just say like they're doing this last thing, oh, these persons are being superseded. No, we did not allow that. And then the next thing I saw in that promotion, something that is unheard of, unprecedented, where persons who retire and come back, Alison Moore, this girl, what's her name, Marcia Lewis, they retired from the police force and the regular police force, were re-employed in the special constabulary. The system is, once you left the force, you come back in the special constabulary with a rank lower than that you retired. So you retire as superintendent, you come back as a deputy superintendent. You can only work until you are 50, or until from 25 to 60. Because when you get 60, there's no provision for you to continue in the force, either in the regular or in the special constabulary. But once you come back, you can't get promotion. You come back as a deputy superintendent. You have to retire in 5 years' time as a deputy superintendent. But I see people retiring now, being re-employed in the special constabulary, and then they're promoting them to superintendent and not recommending them to be promoted in the senior superintendent. That is unprecedented. There is no such establishment in the special constabulary. So all of this they're doing. You check to see if they have had a special senior superintendent or in the special constabulary. An assistant commissioner, yes, that is what it calls for. So a person, and that is one of the few ranks, or the only rank, where a person retires from the police force at 55 at the rank of assistant commissioner, and if they go over to the special constabulary, they go with the same rank. Reggie King, James Austin, and many others, right? But all of a sudden now they're corrupting this thing so much, and because you have people there who don't know, they just sign blind. They're going to sign the death warrant. Hold on. They're going to sign the death warrant. Now let me move on. You know, let me tell you, some people get guts, they get gall, whatever they want. And I'm referring here to the man who is the target of this money laundering and financial impropriety investigation. Calvin Brutus, Assistant Commissioner. This man got a liar to write to Camps TV to threaten defamation. The letter is dated on the 24th day of July 2024. The letter is listened by Lisham, with my L-I-K-S-H-E-M, Liksham Nitya Sharna Kisoon, attorney at law. Let me read about L-I-K-S-H-E-M, Liksham Nitya Sharna Kisoon, attorney at law, and it is addressed to Mr. Kidaki Amsterdam, 55 or 85 sideline down Boxer School, Rara, dated the 24th day of July 2024. That is last week, Wednesday. Dear Mr. Amsterdam, I am instructed by Mr. Calvin Brutus, attorney at law and assistant commissioner of police. I am instructed that on February the 14th, 2024, you made the following defamatory and libelous statement on your live broadcast on Camps TV Facebook program, to wit, and they're repeating the thing, Camps TV, the deputy commissioner entrusted with decision-making, and this is a quote, the deputy commissioner entrusted with decision-making responsibilities regarding departmental goods is engaged in corrupt practices. Shockingly, he purportedly utilized his wife's business to supply a variety of goods to the department. An origins report of cooperation and nepotism within the Guyana Police Force. Accordingly, that is why this continue the quote. According to my understanding, no serving member of the public service should have a business in which they are not a principal part, in which they are the principal or principal operator, the principal of the business or a private business. And then I go on, end the quote, maliciously intended to infer reference to my client to perceive for public view that my client, who is a dedicated and respected serving senior member of the Guyana Police Force, is engaged in corrupt practices by being unlawfully involved in business which his employer as a with his employer as a public official. You have to give me the right little fine. I am further instructed that in the said broadcast on February the 14th, 2024, you read aloud from the documents of incorporation of Kitus General Contracting and Holdings, Inc., of which my client, as you are aware, is listed as a director, maliciously intended for public view, to which listed public view, to perceive that my client has improperly benefited from contracts with the Guyana Police Force through a company of which he is a director, thereby fallaciously attempting to brand my client as a corrupt public official. I am instructed that these statements made by you and broadcast on February the 14th, 2024 on your live Facebook program, CAMS TV, are unequivocally false and misleading, and have been made without any legal justification or authority, libelous, and clearly impute that my client has engaged in illicit activities and is wholly unfit to hold public office. Your malicious act of spreading libelous, slanderous, and defamatory statement about my client and his wife has caused irreparable damage and harm to his reputation and character. Further, as a consequence of your libelous, slanderous, and defamatory statement made on February the 14th, 2024 on your live Facebook program, CAMS TV, my client and his wife have been subjected to public odium, ridicule, humiliation, and embarrassment. In circumstances, I am instructed to demand that you issue an apology to my client, to retract by deleting the video broadcast on February 14, 2024, bearing the fallacious excerpts, therefore defaming my client and his wife's character, reputation, and good standing within 24 hours of this notice, and to immediately cease and desist from uttering, publishing, posting, or repeating in any form whatsoever the same or similar statements in this regard, failing which my client will be constrained to institute legal proceedings against you without any further notice. Signed by the Liksam Kisun. My God, this is dated the 24th of July, folks, last week, Wednesday, I think, yeah, last week, Wednesday. They are claiming that these statements were made on the 14th of February, 2024. Well, I can't understand what's going on here. I can't understand. Maybe this thing was written before this Brutus going to leave and all this big set of investigation going on. Maybe it was written before and somehow it got lost on the mail. Why can't it dated the 24th of July? I'm just trying to be funny when I say maybe it was written before. It is dated on the 24th day of July, and according to the information circulating, the investigation on with Brutus when he went to leave is around the 11th, I think, of July this year. Around the 11th of July, and they're writing this thing here to threaten legal action for bringing the man reputation, bringing the man character into disrepute, and to public to cause public to view him. No, these people give a lot of joke, you know. And today is the 31st day of July. It's not April 4th. It's not All Fool's Day. So I really can't understand what really going on. But maybe Mr. Conway can explain. See, how do you explain this next letter? I remember you had written one to Travis Chase. Another lawyer wrote one to Travis Chase. When Travis Chase made certain statements and never called a name, but as we say, who they kept the draw the string. And Brutus stuck umbrage to the report, and he caused a lawyer to write to Travis Chase. Now another liar writing to Coms TV and threatening legal action. What are your views, my brother?
Well, they say me show me can, but me can no phone no. Or who the cap fit? Let them perhaps the cap fit Brutus, so Brutus decide he's going to wear it. But it's total nonsense. And you're talking about since on the 14th of February, and you're going to write on the 24th of July. Unheard of, man, unheard of. Perhaps they're clutching at straw, you know. They're clutching at straw. Because how much you want to see how we could clear your name. But you can't clear your name no way. If you want clear your name, let you tell me, hey, let this investigation that going on, let it continue and let it continue lab time. And then I hear like they can't even find me. I know we in the country. And I know if the if the leave where you depend whether or not it could be spent, it could be spent out of the country, you know. So much things going wrong, you know. And sending people and threatening letters to take legal action. Let it take the legal action. Let it take the legal action. I sure he cannot succeed. But he clutching on straws, man.
Yeah, I was little shocked, very little shocked me these days. But when I saw this thing yesterday, I was shocked because I can understand with all this that is going on, all the evidence that has been revealed about this man's conduct, where he attempted to launder $16.5 million through the police credit union. They're claiming it is alleged that he has several properties around the city. One property is located at Albert and Fifth Street, used to be Frenzies. They say he bought that. That is what the allegation is, for $50-something million cash. And it demolished with a view to establishing something there. Other properties around the place, 2 or 3 other properties. The vice president said that they're not going to give permission for the E and the extended squatter to operate a sandpit on the Linden Suzdijk Highway. These things are there. It is further alleged that the people went to his office and found over $100 million in cash, Guyana currency, and he said it's hard-earned money. All those are allegations out there. And as Mr. Conway said, it is being further alleged that when Soku went to his home, he could not be found. But I don't know which home they went to, because my information is that he lived in the police senior officers' quarters in the officers' mess compound, Young Street. There's a building there just opposite police headquarters. They say he lived there. And then the article of incorporation for this Kaitas has an Aslington address. And then they say he has other addresses. So I don't know where they went, but they said they went and they couldn't find him. And it is further alleged that he might have traveled out of the country. And I had to ask the question, if this man is the subject of such an investigation, how can he be allowed to leave the country? I'm assuming here that he left through one of the official ports, either Springlands, either Lethem, either Cherijagan International Airport, or any one of the other ports. So how is it that they don't know, Soku don't know whether this man is in the country or not? How is it 3 weeks after this investigation has been launched, you ain't got a statement? At least you have not put this allegation. Getting a statement is not the issue, because he can refuse to give a statement. That is his constitutional right. But one would have expected that by now, or shortly after this matter broke, and you said an investigation is going to be launched, and according to the vice president, let the chips fall where they may. One of the first things you have to do, apart from, you said, go and seize in the documents, is to get Brutus and put the allegation to him and caution him. I don't know if that would have worked. Maybe you send a message. Please warn Assistant Commissioner Brutus to report to Soku headquarters immediately in connection with a matter on an investigation, or at such and such a date and such a time in connection with a matter under investigation. I don't know how that will work. And that is why we continue to say, and I continue to say, that Soku is not competent and to do this investigation. Because we are hearing now 3 weeks after this investigation is said to have been launched, they can't find Brutus. They cannot find him. And I'm saying that if he left through one of the ports, the record will be there. They have all the records. All the records. You know, the last time I traveled out to Guyana, when I reached the immigration people and I presented my passport and my documents and so on, they looked at the passport, they looked in the computer, the constable was there. She read something, read. Then she ain't sure what she got to do. So there's something in the system there. She then took the passport and the other thing and went to a supervisor. She left the cubicle that she was in. She went to a supervisor, and the supervisor looked up on her computer. I suspect the computer would have had the same information. And then this constable came back into the cubicle and stamped the exit stamp in my passport, and I was allowed to travel. So they have things in there. So they have put something for Butas to say, well, he's a person of interest or something like that. I can only assume that they have me there as a person of interest. How is it that they can't find this man? That is what is being reported. Has he given a statement, or has he been cautioned in relation to this matter? The commissioner acting, the extended squatter, is implicated in this matter as well. Has he been cautioned? Has he been made to give a statement? And you are telling me SOCU can conduct this investigation properly? SOCU can conduct an investigation like this? You know, if it was a constable or somebody that had done lock you up for 72 hours, long time. SOCU start off, or one of the first things, what they did over the weekend was to arrest some of the possible witnesses in this matter. The people who are working at the credit union and who they believe might have leaked information in relation to what is going on there, they arrested them, unlawfully and illegally seized their phones and searching their phone for messages and all this type of thing. That is unconstitutional. For you to search someone, first of all, what is the reason for arresting these people? The Protective Disclosure Act, as we call it, the Whistleblower Act, protects persons from revealing information about thieving and other corrupt activities in any department, whether government department, private sector department, the act is there to protect those persons. And the act is specific. You can't retaliate. You can't victimize those persons. But here it is. So who are arresting persons who are possible witnesses in this investigation to intimidate them, to intimidate others so that others will not come forward and give information. And you want to tell me that this investigation is being properly conducted? No way. It starts off on the wrong foot. They're going to hustle and they're going to do all the cook. And I guess they had practice over the last weekend because they had a cook up rice competition. So it's the cooking up they're doing. It's cooking up, they're cooking up. And I understand that SOCU might have won the cook up rice competition too, the experienced cook up people. That is what is happening. So how come Butas cannot be formed? How come? And as I said, it is easy to determine whether he's in Guyana or not. At least whether he left legally, because if he left backtrack, then he's not gonna be there in the record. But if he left through one of the official ports, the record will be there that he and his wife and whoever left the country and where they said they were going. It ought to be there. You already gone to Brazil, you already gone to Suriname, and you heard that. And the police corporate propaganda unit will not come out with a statement to say exactly what is the position with the investigation so far, whether statements have been taken, whether the suspect has been the allegation has been put to the suspect. No. Nothing has been said. And let me move on. And then if you leave in the country, public service, police in particular, I know that you have to get permission to leave Guyana. You can't, even if you are on leave as a policeman, any rank, and you have to leave the country, you have to get special permission to leave the country. So when you apply for your leave, you have to apply to spend your leave overseas, and the thing is specific. So even if he requested to go on leave, and he was sent on leave, or even if he was ordered to go on leave, he can't leave the country unless permission is granted. Don't question whether it's lawful, whether it's unconstitutional. I'm telling you what is the practice. And I don't think it has been challenged, and that is the practice. You can't leave unless you get permission to leave the country. Then we're saying Under normal circumstances, as I said again, let me say that the Soku cannot investigate this matter. Because if it is, as it's been reported, it's been alleged that you went to Buta's home and you couldn't find him, I guess you went there in as a result of the investigation, and you cannot find him. The next thing the police supposed to do is issue a wanted bulletin. The next thing it's supposed to do is issue a wanted bulletin. I can't comment on a case with me because it's still before the court. But they did issue, after I was charged, they did put in the paper that Slow is wanted for questioning after I was charged. So they say Buta say get charged yet, so you have every justification for putting out a notice that Butas is wanted. And I sure if you put a notice, them constables will be given a rough time, that find him quick time. They are going to find him to apprehend him and take him to wherever he has to go. So no wanted bulletin. And this is a case where you have, and I don't think it's unprecedented. Remember, Sidney James, the special assistant commissioner who was in charge of that same Soku. Soku issued a wanted bulletin for Sidney James some years ago. Soku issued a wanted bulletin for him. So don't tell me you can't issue a wanted bulletin for Brutus if it is that you want it in relation to this investigation and you can't find it. Issue a wanted bulletin. And let me see, that will perhaps convince some people that you're serious. Let me bring in Mr. Conway for get this button, and then I can come back. CC, what is the position with this thing? Why have they not said, put out a notice to say Butas is wanted, I should report to some department in connection with this investigation?
Well, it's just cover up, and Suku doesn't have the ability to do certain things, you know. It's cover up, and then all they're doing is trying to scare witnesses and potential witnesses. And I always remember Frank Sorpico, a detective sergeant in the NYPD, who made allegations against certain members and the NYPD itself. And they didn't harass him. They listened to him. They formed what they call the NAPS Commission. And his evidence shook up the NYPD. Shook up the NYPD. But here now, we ain't getting, you know, persons who are witnesses or potential witnesses, we intimidating them. We unlawfully taking away the telephone, the phones, and we getting through the records and all kinds. And they get ways and means of finding information and physically seizing a man's telephone. And I will be surprised if they have Pegasus available. I heard they get Pegasus, the Israeli spy unit that could turn on your phone and turn it off and do all kind of thing with your phone. I heard they get Pegasus. I heard they pay 50 million US and get Pegasus. But the whole thing is, you know, that Brutus is being allowed to run free. Nobody tackling Brutus. Nobody finding from Brutus. And then I hear that he gone. I know he walk across the Takatu River because he walk across the Takatu River when the place was dry. Or I know what we do across the Quarantine River, whether he backtrack or otherwise. But they're not approaching this thing professionally and technically as they are to do. Tell me they can't find Brutus. Something is definitely wrong. Something is wrong. And they're not doing the investigation in a professional manner. All they're doing is to scare witnesses and potential witnesses. Remember Sorpico, who shook up the NYPD, and they had a trumpet in Australia that shook up that one of the police division in that company. So and that bring back to the point that they say who can investigate, get outside people to do the investigation, get them to Suku is compromise from the beginning. Compromise from the beginning. I don't want to believe Brutus gets secret for Suku too.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it again. And you know, you're getting evidence so frequently to show that Soku is incapable of conducting this investigation. The mere fact, as we said, that you are arresting persons who are potential witnesses to intimidate them. Show that you don't want to get to the truth. You don't want to get to the truth. You have not seized these documents. So as recent as last week, documents were still there where the manager could say she can keep all the documents and nobody could get them and all other crap. Those things, all of the documents should have been in the possession of Soku because it's evidence in an investigation and they left them there. And as we said, this matter got to be, this investigation got to be a wide investigation. The vice president suddenly wake up from his slumber to talk about corruption in procurement. Robeson Ben at the police symposium talking about corruption. It did on there all the time. Right under Ben nose, the PS. That's what the U.S. Treasury Department said. Involving corruption in contracts, passport, issued a firearm license, right under Ben. And you want to tell me, Roshan Cancer, the going price, $1.5 million for firearm. And we heard that figure repeated many times. That is what's going on in the place. And this has to go because, let me tell you this. I said it before. Brutus, as the admin man, controlling the purse string for the police. So you put in cat for watch milk, you put in rat for eat cheese. But he, of and by himself, could not execute the scheme. What happened to the police finance officer? What happened to the people at the police quartermaster stores? What happened to all of these people? Did they not see these vouchers and see the conflict and all of that, perhaps even criminal activity? So the police finance officer got to be a subject to this investigation. And you know what is being said? And this is what I want them to investigate too. That all the people in the police finance office, the police credit union now, the construction section, the police consumers, all of those people who were there with experience and were not allowing this illegality to go through were removed. Check. Let's say over 15 persons from the police finance officer, police finance office were removed over a short period of time. The man of the construction in charge, several persons of construction removed. Police consumers, man in charge, removed. Quartermaster, removed. They removed these people, many of them who were there with the experience and know the system, and perhaps were pointing out the wrong thing. They removed them and inserted people who did not know, up to now and know, and who were maybe complicit and pliant. So they put people there who they can control. And it is alleged that instructions were passed to the people at finance to say, hey, once you see my signature on a document, don't question it. And that is why you have on Christmas Eve Day, the driver of Brutus can apply for an advance of 200,000 Guyana dollars to go to Port Kaituma to assist with some investigation. The secretary, Marcia Lewis, as a sergeant, can apply for the same money, $200,000. I think she went to Orange Duke or somewhere to say they're doing investigation. It is corruption. Where is the Auditor General? Where is the Auditor General when you want him? So this investigation is not only this attempt to launder this money, it's not only about the procurement where all of these things, all of the things that are supplied to the police are supplied by a company in which the same, that was starting with the letter where the liar wrote there, dated the 24th. It is there, the records are going to be there to show Kaitas and the other company that is registered to his wife. They're supplying things. It's alleged that his mother-in-law. They stopped the small man from supplying things to the police consumers and the messes. And they had a monopoly on this thing now, where they supplied hundreds of millions of dollars worth of items to these to the police. You in charge of police finances as the admin man. And you're a company that you have interest in. Your company. Your wife company supplying. And people ain't see nothing wrong with that. You want to tell me that people are not complicit? And don't forget that when the news broke, and let me play it, man. Let me play it. When the news broke and Dennis Shabra confronted the acting commissioner about it, again, I can play it every day.
Guyana's acting commissioner of police Clifton Hicken today laid to rest claims that his deputy commissioner of police acting Calvin Brutus is on the investigation by the Special Organized Crime Unit. Higgins spoke with reporters on the sidelines of the first legal conference on criminal justice reform at the Marriott Hotel in Georgetown.
It's about Mr. Brutus and the multi-million-dollar deposits. Is it true or not?
No, it's not true. And I made a release already through our system.
You didn't see that?
Yeah, I made a release. It's in the system. There was no investigation going on whatsoever.
And no deposits?
Nothing whatsoever. We know. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Brutus, who served as the fourth.
Now, let me adjust that part. No deposit, no investigation. And you want to tell me that the acting commissioner, having lied like that, should remain there during the course of this investigation? How can this investigation be a proper investigation by SOCU if this man who we just saw lying to the media, lying to the Guyanese public and the world at large, that no deposits were made, and the evidence is there about the deposit, and that no investigation was going on. And then the life order, when the shake-up took place, oh, it's part of the management tool to gain experience. When Brutus was moved, Brutus was moved to special branch. The special branch man Watts was moved to operations. And then the operations man, Boudram, was moved to admin. And they came with a release to say that it's part of the normal routine, some crap that come and talk about. And again, I say, this is even more evidence. All of them must be investigated. This is a wide investigation. Then they have, for benefit, you have the police credit union again. Check to see who are the persons on the board of the police credit union. Check to see those who are on the committee, the loans committee. People who thief money from finance office. People who thief money from finance office. Brutus himself is on that board. How can that be? Has he been made to resign from the board of the credit union? And they're saying other people as well may have attempted or may have laundered money through the police credit union. It's a big, nasty, dirty, stinking criminal gang you have in the hierarchy of the police force. And you're telling me now that we must depend on a branch of the police force that comes under the people who are alleged to be involved in this big illegal scheme, that branch can properly investigate this matter. I say no. Let me bring Mr. Conway. CC?
Yeah, and you mentioned persons who left on the committee. I mean, we can't call names now, but say there got some thieving people there, people with repetition of thieving money, and people with close connections to the top, very, very close connection to the top, that they would do their masters will, So, Paul, the more you think about this thing, this is more devastating. This thing is, and don't forget, this gun license story is it on $1 billion enterprise. This gun story 1.5, and it's saying that the investigation should also go there. Check and see how much they issue, firearms issue, and none of them got to the firearm board. Check and see. This is easy to check that out. That the license doing right at headquarters. You pay your 1.5 and they got to do that investigation. There's allegation. The allegation that the 1.5 million is starting point. And you get it right there. And also right under the very nose of the Minister of Home Affairs, that Home Affairs are right there. And those firearms in persons and who ain't supposed to get any firearm, the temperament, and some of them firearms might be renting out too. And that's why people shooting out wrongs, they're finding spent shell all about the place there. And so far, they cannot link nobody, and they cannot link it to any firearm. You're telling me that all those firearms are illegal that they're using, and if they're illegal, that is frightening. That all the firearms involved in robbery are illegal firearms. So that's why I say Suku can't do the investigation, because it got to be broadened and it got to be deepened. It got to be broadened and deepened. And I say, don't forget the firearms. Don't forget Chief Chandra Paul Drive. Don't forget Young Street. Don't forget a doctor, and I repeat, don't forget a doctor in Lamar Street. Don't forget the house in Rob Street. And don't forget a building northwest of the police headquarters at Brickdam. This thing is frightening. This thing is shocking, mind-boggling. And they sit down quietly. Not a word from the president. Not a word really from the vice president. Shake up the bloody place. The investigation has got to be swift. It's got to be certain. It's got to be appropriate. And I always remember Bill Clinton when Timothy McVeigh and his father bombed Oklahoma City building. 100 and something person died. Bill Clinton said the action that we will take will be swift, will be certain, will be appropriate. In no time they get Timothy McVeigh. That was swift. The offense that they're charging for murder and the punishment was death by lethal injection. So we got to be swift. We got to be certain. And the punishment has got to be appropriate. Not like the man who changed 300 and something million US to, I think, to 3 million. And he get fined 15 days pay, sir.
Yeah. This investigation has to be broad, has to be broad-based, and there's a seasoned banker, a freezing bank account and all that, the freeze too. Perhaps there are others. Perhaps I maintain that Butas could not have been doing this all by himself. He had to have aid. The Chevrolet driver might have been part of the thing. His secretary might have been part. The man in charge of finance, all of them. And up to now, I don't know that Soku has pulled these people in and questioned them or interrogated them in any comprehensive way. So what investigation are you telling people about? Is that a sham? Is that a sham to try to appease and then you're going to throw someone man under the bus and that? Because, see when you talk about this comprehensive investigation, they're going to happen, even though we're talking about it, because many of them might be pulled in. Because, as I said, with all this gun running, $1.5 million the allegation, the sanction document from the U.S. Treasury Department listed a lot of corruption. Firearm license is stated there. Passport, that is what they said the PS was involved in. Now, how could all of these things happen without, first of all, the chief immigration officer without a passport is the commissioner of police or the extended squatter. Firearm licensing, he has something to do with it as well. What happened to the Minister of Home Affairs? He has something to do with the license of firearm through the board. All of these things. So if you're going to conduct an investigation, all of these things you have to look in properly. And let me tell you all this. We are not going to let up. We're going to continue to highlight these things and demand that a proper investigation be done. And we hope that the people from those places that say the ABC countries and all of those peoples in you are listening and are following what is going on, because it looks like we got to wait on them to send some signal for something proper be done. But let me say this to Brutus. I don't normally give advice to certain people, but let me tell you, I gave advice to you on more than one occasion, so maybe I can advise you again. If you want to relax, money should not be an issue. Go to the U.S., man. Go to the U.S. I think if you get a visa or apply for a visa, go to the U.S. with your family. Go to some resort, maybe somewhere in Florida or somewhere there. Enjoy the good weather, relax. Go there and relax, right? If you really want to relax, go there and relax. Not Brazil or Suriname or one of those places. Go to the U.S. and spend some of the money and relax. Now let me move on. Now the issue that I want to talk about, I want to speak about this on Monday. But I'm going to spend the next half an hour or so, we can deal with this. And this is this I passed to the judiciary, where people are actually threatening members of the judiciary, the judges. You remember when, not so long ago, Justice Kisun ruled in the Teachers Association, the Guyana Teachers Union matter, the Vice President, Bharat Jagdeo, said that the Judge Sandil Kisun was presumptuous. That is the word he used, presumptuous. Then you had in the same matter, the judge issued an order. And Saddam Hussein, the chief education officer, immediately thereafter sent a memo which was clearly contradictory to the order that the judge issued. And they just sent free the Judge Carley, and then I think they retract or something like that. And then the Attorney General made some statement that he dictated, but he did not see the final document and all sort of thing. The ice passed the judges. The ice passed the judges. Then you had it one day now with Guyanese critic, who the judge gave some award to the Mohammeds for $52 million. And then he had some program. He put the judge picture on the social media, the photograph, which can only be interpreted as threatening, and made all sorts of comments. That is what you have going on. The judge awarded $52 million to the Mohammeds. And let me give the critics some advice too. And then I'm the mood this morning to give advice. All you have to do is write a check and give it to them, because I understand that all the bank accounts are frozen. All the bank accounts, nobody can do business with them. So if you get a judgment against you, write a check and give them see what they're going to carry it. You can't bounce because they can't clear it at no bank. But this trend of people attacking the judiciary got to stop. And to some extent, you got to blame the judges because they are too soft on these things. They are too soft with the chief education officer. When the judge sent for him, you should have made him to sit on the bench and to show cause why you should not send him to Camp Street on contempt, but no, they treat lightly with them. And therefore, the impasse can continue. I had a judgment against me recently. I'm not in agreement with the judge. But there is a process. There's a process. There's a legal process. You agree? Appeal. Carry it all the way to CCG. But to be making these statements and then tend to justify, you come nonetheless and issues in the news and thing. And tomorrow, no doubt, when Enid and Shimakume, it was a big bacchanal just the other day with Enid and Shimakume. Big comments the other day with Enid and Shimakume. I don't want to pass Ace or passing straight. A fella pull me and tell me, wait. Same time, Enid Osman come off the bus. And it's now the Makume start to cuss. You're going to hear cuss with the Makume. But these things are encouraged and allowed. And the judge said, this matter is a matter before the court where Justice Gino Prasad issued a ruling which says that the government of Ghana got to pay some company, ConocoPhillips or something, some award. This award was made years ago, and other countries who were involved have paid and agreed to pay. Ghana decided they didn't pay. So the matter reached to the High Court, and Justice Gino Prasad ruled that Ghana got to pay. The Attorney General jumped up and he called, said that the judge is unpatriotic and all that other thing. He said, the judge deplores veiled threat to independence of the judiciary. Justice Gino Prasad deplores the veiled threat to the independence of the judiciary. It's a long thing, but I can read a little part here only. And he said, the AG is not the legal guardians of the minds of the Guyanese people. Let me read about. This is what Justice Gino Prasad is reported to have said. The AG, that is the Attorney General, Anil Nandalal SC, MP, is not the legal guardian of the minds of the Guyanese people. It is an opportunistic political argument, perhaps best suited for the hustlings of an election campaign than a sound legal argument suitable for a court. It is most unfortunate, disrespectful, and should have been withdrawn. That is in reference to part of the thing, because the Attorney General, the veiled threat that they're talking about, my understanding is that the Attorney General actually threatened to take the judge before the Judicial Service Commission. You know, the Judicial Service Commission is responsible for appointing judges, magistrates, disciplining the Director of Public Prosecutions, the Deputy Director of Public Prosecutions, and some other people is there in the Constitution. So the veiled threat, as I understand it, is to for the judge to be disciplined by the Judicial Service Commission. Well, you know, there are so many things wrong with that, because, as I indicated, the DPP2 comes under that the jurisdiction of that body. And with all that is going on with the DPP, I never heard the Attorney General threaten or anyone else to take her before the Judicial Service Commission to be disciplined. And perhaps one of the more egregious acts. Read this, comrades, I tell you, you see this book I put up here? Hijacking of the New Building Society. It's available. Read this book. I have not completed, but I start reading. I have posted the preface on my social media page. I have posted a letter, which I'll read to you just now, that Bernard DeSantis Senior Counsel wrote to the acting chancellor about the conduct of the DPP. And you're not hearing nothing. Read this book. Get this book. Y'all get friends. It's not available in Guyana at the moment. It's available on Amazon. You get people to send barrel. You want sneaker. You want Nike shoe. You want all kind of thing. Get them to buy it and send it to you. And you're going to see some of the revelations in this book. And here, what one of the things it said, one of the most egregious aspects as I see it. It says here, on June the 1st, 2007, I'm reading here an excerpt from the preface. On June the 1st, 2007, following the execution of a sinister plot by nefarious and powerful people, which was apparently contrived at the Central Islamic Organization of Guyana, CIOG, the police charged the trio with a conspiracy to defraud offense. The charges were based upon an initial complaint made on Friday, January the 19th, 2007, by Dr. Zainul Safi at the CIOG to its CEO, Mohin Haq. Safi alleged that 32 million of 69 million withdrawn from his wife's Bibi Shalima Khan's account was unauthorized. Act informed the New Building Society Deputy CEO Nizam Mohammed of Safi's complaint, who, according to the NBS procedure, was required to contact the account holder and immediately inform the NBS CEO accordingly. Instead, Mohammed attended a meeting the following day, Saturday, at the CIOG with Safi, Ak, and Ak's wife, the DPP acting, Shalimar Ali Ak. They reportedly discussed the account of the member of the NIS in the absence of that member. Mohammed informed Arjun of Safi's complaint later in the morning of Monday, January 22nd, 2007. The CEO immediately arranged for an internal investigation to be conducted, pending confirmation from Bibi Shalima Khan, who later stated that the entire 69 million withdrawn was unauthorized without providing a reason for the change. Folks, let me pause. Y'all share the live. I got more to talk about. Share the live. Give me the thumbs up. Share the live, give me a thumbs up. This is an allegation, a very serious allegation made against the DPP. In this book, serious allegation. Allegation is that she attended a meeting at the Central Islamic Organization of Guyana in Woolford Avenue. Her husband is a big thing at this organization. And she discussed this matter that she later instructed for people to be charged with conspiracy to commit fraud. And here, at the time, one of the defense lawyers, Nandalal was a defense lawyer too. Read the book, man. Get the book and read it. Nandalal was a defense lawyer. Another defense lawyer was the respected Bernard DeSantis, SC. If you don't know, but the late Bernard DeSantis, because he was the first attorney general when PPP took office in 1992. Bernard DeSantis, man from Plaisance there, right? And he had cause to write to the acting chancellor. And he says, what he says. One of the matters which has been suspected by members of the criminal bar for some time is that the acting director of public prosecutions, whose husband is a Muslim cleric, cannot divorce our religion from our professional duties. Let me read about. This is Bernard DeSantis, the late SC, writing to the acting chancellor at that time. And he says, quote, one of the matters which has been suspected by members of the criminal bar for some time is that the acting director of public prosecutions, whose husband is a Muslim cleric, cannot divorce our religion from our professional duties. And then he continues, in the instant case, Mrs. Act, prior to charges being instituted against my client, at a meeting at the headquarters of the Central Islamic Organization of Guyana, which was attended inter alia by her husband and a Muslim member of staff of the New Building Society, at which meeting the affairs of the NBS were discussed as they pertain to loss of money, which later formed the basis of the charge. It is an open secret that Mrs. Ack's husband had played a major role in the matter. I wish to conclude this by drawing your Honor's attention to the unhealthy precedent which the DPP's request can set, and the damage it can do to the already embattled judicial system and public confidence in the system. Its integrity can hardly be generated by official intervention into the judiciary's work, except in the most exceptional circumstances. Let it not be said that it all started under your watch. Come on, this is just an excerpt. Read the book. Read the book. The DPP did all of that. Allegations, they are allegations. And what? Nandalala said nothing. Nobody has said anything. The Caribbean Court of Justice, I can play a tape, and then when I'm done, I can bring in Mr. Conway. Look at this tape. This is the CCJ, the president or whatever designation the head of that body as, rebuking the DPP. Read, listen to this carefully. Listen.
At the best interest of the child, and ask this court as the parents patria to not interfere with the sentence of the Court of Appeal, because it was just given the heinous nature of the commission of this offense by no less of a person than the mother of a child and her lover, and a lover who attempted to abuse that child too. And this is a heinous case, and the society looks towards the court to give a sentence that...
Miss Ali, you are a minister of justice. You are the director of public prosecutions in Guyana, so that your statements have to be very measured and careful. How can you be saying that that small sexually assaulted the deceased? He was convicted of that. There was an allegation and then it was withdrawn, and then there was another allegation and it was withdrawn again.
No, please, Your Honor, it wasn't withdrawn the second time.
But even so, it's an allegation. It hasn't been an allegation that has been tested, so you can't make definitive statements about something like that. You could have a suspicion, but a suspicion is one thing. To make a definitive statement and to urge a court to act on the basis of that definitive statement, you can't do that.
You can't do that. You can't do that, DPP. You can't. All of these are things there. More than that too. You have all of these cases that are going before the court, and the high courts in Guyana, judges of the high court, have said that, look, there's no evidence in these matters. Murder charge, people languishing in jail for 4 or 5 years. When it get there, no evidence. I remember the case with one of the cases, Oren Bailey, former policeman, 4 or 5 years in jail. And then when he got there, the high court, the judge in the high court remarking that, look, there is never an iota of evidence against this person. And the prosecutor agreeing that there was no evidence. But all these things that been passed, the DPP. In the lower courts as well, no case submissions galore. Once you make a no case submission, the matter gone. Because, and don't blame the police alone, because when the police do their investigation, the file is sent to the DPP or the DPP's chamber, and officers in the DPP's chamber will go through, including the DPP herself, will go through these files where they don't see that these matters, they don't have enough evidence to convict these people, and they're sending it on. So go and face your music. In our case, conspiracy to commit fraud, they like that, conspiracy to commit fraud. 26 witnesses gave evidence. Or when they didn't even give evidence, they went before the went into the witness box. And at the end of the day, the magistrate said there was not an iota of evidence against these persons. Politically motivated, absolutely no doubt about that, politically motivated. And you have that, and nobody complaining, at least nobody threatening to take the DPP before the Judicial Service Commission. If any one of the officers, the judges, the magistrate, registrar, any one of them should be taken before the Judicial Service Commission for disciplinary hearing, it got to be the DPP with all of these things that are being highlighted. And these are just a few. These are just a few. But look at the Dharamlal matter. Look how that matter was handled. Look how that first Dharamlal sexual assault case against the young indigenous girl that alleged that he groomed her, he raped her, and he bugged her. Look, Dharamlal, Minister of Local Government at the time, look how she handled the matter. The matter went to her, the file went to her. And according to the law, they had enough grounds to charge. She sent it back to the police to clarify some issue. And then it is said, because she didn't make the statement, but the police said that she said, is a lot of said, right? That the victim, a 16-year-old, gave a statement to say it is in our best interest to have the matter discontinued. This is the DPP telling us that a 16-year-old who lives with her parents, who are there with her parents, can make a decision as to what is best in our interest. That is what you have. That is what we have. And but Nandalal can issue a veiled threat to the judge. Once his decision is going in their favor, once a decision is made and the government feel it in their favor, they're not only utilizing the appeal, which is their right to do, but they go on the social media, they get press conferences, and they malign these people. Say that how they're presumptuous and all sort of thing. And only recently too, the Chief Justice had to talk seriously to Nandalal in one of these matters. I think it's related to the same statement made by the Vice President. Let me bring in Mr. Conway, man. Not batting a bowling. And when you bowl after 3-4 overs, you've got to take a rest, go to fine leg, take a drink of water, and then prepare to come again. See, let's think about the threatening to these judges, whether direct or veiled, and all the things that we show. What are your views, my brother?
Well, I think in many instances, the judges don't go far enough. I think they soften up on certain people. And when we go back to the basics, I know in my days, not only the judges, the magistrates, for the matter, before you go into magistrate's court, you got to be properly dressed. You got to show respect to the magistrate, even the way you're answering questions, yes or no. So I was orderly for several magistrates, Clifford Babaram, Oslin Small, and others. And I could tell you, those were very firm persons, right? And you can't bring nonsense to them. And then when you go to the judges, should have been worse. I remember at one time, women couldn't have gone into court with wearing trousers. And I think it was Shirley Fair Ridley and some other people from the PNC then, the WRSM tested the thing and they turned up in trousers and thing, and the judge allowed them, and then they opened the floodgate. But the thing is, that's where from the basic way things in court, they're not adhering to certain standards. And then we have where persons are in contempt of court, and no real firm action is being taken. We had the Attorney General, the CCJ had to pull him up, where we disclose the ruling before time. Although the CCJ put an embargo here, this mustn't be disclosed until so and so day. And he went and disclosed and through his office, and then he blamed it on his IT administrator, who up to now has remained nameless. They need to go back to judges like Claude Messiah. I always remember Claude Messiah when a certain lawyer who is now a senior counsel where he took his, what we say in nowadays, he took his mannishness to the court. He was in contempt. The judge cited him for contempt immediately. He said, Counsel, I'm citing you for contempt of court. Orderly, take charge of him. And I put it on this matter at 1 o'clock. And he turned to the lawyer and said, hey, if you're not well represented at 1 o'clock, the jaws of the Georgetown prison is going to open up and swallow you. The jaws of the Georgetown prison and the Mazzaroni prison and the should be opened up and swallow some of them for contempt of court. You have to pay respect for the court. And the judges has got to be firm. We had Saddam Hussein, clear contempt of court. Clear contempt of court. The Attorney General say he was part of it, but he didn't see the final document. And that the Carly and talk to you know. They got to be formal, and you gotta respect the rule in the court. Yeah? Jack Dio, the second vice president, said the judge was presumptuous. And for us, maybe because he was the same judge that ruled in our case. Remember when Paul you challenged the action of the president who unconstitutionally suspended us from the Police Service Commission. Justice was null, void, have no legal effect, and all sort of things. Perhaps the same judge, they jumping on, you know. And then DPP, numerous matters with the DPP, where the DPP recommend advice charges, and these cases finishing at no case submission, both in the magistrate court and in the high court. And then many matters where the DPP say this person will be charged, and then government change, and the DPP will not process. Yeah? Will not process, and nobody taking the DPP to court. Nobody challenging the status quo. It's time. And let me read the Constitution, because I have it before me. Article 199, it talks about appointment, etc., judicial and legal officers. And then say the power to make appointments to the officers to which this article applies, and to remove and to exercise disciplinary control over person holding, acting in such office shall vest in the Judicial Service Commission. And here it applies to, this article applies to the office of the Commissioner of Title, Magistrate, Director of Public Prosecution, Deputy Director of Public Prosecution, Registrar of the High Court, Deputy Registrar of the High Court, Registrar of Deeds, Deputy Registrar of Deeds, and to such other officers, not open bracket, not being officers in respect of which provisions for the making of appointments is made by any provision of the Constitution other than Article 201, connected with the courts of Guyana, or for appointment to which such legal qualifications are required or may be prescribed by Parliament. Here it is. It's embedded in the Constitution, Article 199, and nobody challenging the status quo. Nobody putting the DPP before the Judicial Service Commission. And we have had personal experience, Paul. You mentioned it, and I got to repeat it because I was affected. Charges for conspiracy to defraud. Commissioner Carlos in front of a ELT, executive leadership team meeting, gave us access to revise it, police standing order. We started it free. They said they're gonna give us a stipend afterwards, and then lo and behold, the charges, and 26 persons testify. I can't say they give evidence. 26 from the Police Finance Office, the Ministry of Home Affairs, Ministry of Finance, and the judge said not an iota of evidence. And it's the DPP who recommend, and the DPP got the audacity to give notice of appeal. The audacity to give no notice of appeal. Persons have got to take the DPP before the Judicial Service Commission, because many of the matters is not criminal, is political. So somebody persons has got to take the bull by the horns and take the DPP before the Judicial Service Commission, and let's see what we would happen. Test the water, and let me see. I mean, the DPP, I was then able to see while, so we test it. Let me see what was going to happen. So the point I made earlier is that the judges themselves has got to be formal in their decision making, starting from the way people, the decorum, the way people appear them in front of court, people appearing them with fancy writing on the jerseys and all kind of thing there. And then when persons are in contempt of court, the hammer don't fall as heavily as it ought to. Instead of they get it in the head, they get in a little knock on the fingers. So I'm saying that it's time they start challenging the status quo, time they test the water, because I feel that the actions of the DPP needs much to be desired.
Needs much to be desired. I fully, totally support and agree with all that you have said there. And for the person who asking about the book, it's there. Look at it. Hijacking of the NBS, the New Building Society, by V.S. Singh. So those of you who are interested, go on Amazon. If you are in the North America, I think Amazon, even in Europe, you can get it. Get your family, man. Get your family. If you're in Guyana, it's not available there. Get your family to buy the book and send it to you. It doesn't cost much. Get your family to buy the book and put it in the barrel and send it. Now, let me say this. This statement, this thing struck me. The statement by Bernard DeSantis, the late SC. Bernard cannot be accused of being an intemperate person. He was very experienced, trial lawyer and all that. Very respected, I must add. Right? And he says there, let me read back this first paragraph. This is a letter that Mr. DeSantis writing to the acting chancellor. And let me read the first paragraph that he says. He says, one of the matters which has been suspected by members of the criminal bar for some time is that the acting director of public prosecutions, whose husband is a Muslim cleric, cannot divorce our religion from our professional duties. That is a serious, serious statement, that the DPP, whose husband is a Muslim cleric, cannot divorce our religion, Islam, from our professional duties. That is what Bernard DeSantis said in the same New Building Society case. They had meeting, imagine the DPP meeting at the Central Islamic Organization in Woodford Avenue. They claimed that our husband and other people were there. And business of the New Building Society were discussed. And the DPP end up, as the thing says here, let me read this part here too. In the instant case, Mrs. Act, prior to charges being instituted against my client, held a meeting at the headquarters of the Central Islamic Organization of Guyana, which was attended inter alia by her husband and a Muslim member of staff of the New Building Society, at which meeting the affairs of the New Building Society were discussed as they pertain to the loss of money, which later formed the basis of the charges. It is an open secret that Mrs. Ack's husband has played a major role in the matter. My Lord, and no action. All these years and no action. The DPP is allowed to free reign. And then people like me and Mr. Conway and others are deemed to be involved in criminal activities. People like us, decent, law-abiding citizens. And you have all of these people, the hierarchy of the police force and them, involving us, I think. But we are waiting because the suspicion is that when the Soku dance with this investigation they said they're doing, a file will eventually go to the DPP. And then more dancing can take place. More dancing. Trust me, crystal ball at work. When eventually a file is sent to the DPP in this big stinking corruption matter that they are talking about here, with the laundering of money through the police credit union, with all of the corrupt procurement processes and so on, a file is likely to be sent to the DPP at some time. And more dancing can take part. Trust me, more dancing. That is what I'm seeing in the crystal ball. More dancing will take place. But we are going to keep it on the front burner. We're going to keep it there for all to see. And to remember, and to keep reminding you. So no cover. They're not going to be given any cover. But, you know, time running out with us. CC wrote a letter today that appeared today. We didn't even get a chance to go. Next time when we come, we're going to talk about that next time. Your closing remarks, my brother.
Yeah, let me swing a bit, or let me rotate. I said earlier, you know, the Olympics is here. The Olympics on its way, and I said that if we want to win medal, there are some people we got to select. Chelsea gone their way. I think the swimmer gone their way. I think coming up the athletics. I think this from Friday or sometime. And I said we should have sent the triple jumper. But we didn't send the triple. We should send the triple jumper. And if we didn't triple jump, we could have rotated him. You know, this is a management. We could have rotated him as a shooter. Because he could shoot, he could hit the bullseye with deadly consequences. And apart from the triple jumper, we had a marathon runner that we could have sent. Remember, you run all the way to New York to deal with Burke. And then he could have won a medal for us as a marathon runner. Even down to the we could have rotated him again as a sprinter because he sprinted back to Guyana in lava time with breakneck speed. So we lose out for winning an Olympic medal because we didn't send the triple jumper who could have rotated as a shooter, and we didn't send and we didn't send the other one who's a marathon runner and also a sprinter. So we can't win any medal. The Olympics and come and we don't win another medal. Maybe better luck next time.
Better luck next time. We get one medal from Paris, a boxer, many years ago. Perhaps they want another medal. Thank you, my brother. Now, folks, two things in closing. I told you, I think it was sometime last week, that I attended this this session, right, convention to deal with financial literacy and financial management and so on. And oh, what an experience it was in Las Vegas. And the invitation is still open for all of you who want me to share some of the knowledge with you. All of you. Just make contact with me. And well, it is specific to people in North America. Let me be specific. We're talking about people in the US, whichever state you are in, and people in Canada. Contact me. I can arrange for you to attend virtual presentations so that you can be educated as I am. So don't be shy. Let me get you information. Contact me. Perhaps provide your cell phone number or something like that. Those of you who know me, call me and make the arrangement. WhatsApp or Messenger or Facebook, and I am going to interact with you so that you can benefit as I did from this presentation. And in closing, I want to remind you of what JSK Lal said some months ago. He said, what we have today is not a government, but a gang of gangsters. For the most part, what Guyanese are for leaders today are nothing but out of control lunatics, pathological liars, unreconstructed racists, and political sadists. Again, I want to close by wishing you people, all of us, especially those of us of African descent, happy emancipation. And ask yourself, are you emancipated? Are you emancipated? And I am. And that is why I can come and we can come and we can bring you the truth. In closing, again, don't forget, contact me. Just contact me either by Facebook, by Messenger, by WhatsApp, or put your number in the chat, something. And let's think so that I want you to benefit. You are going to be blown away about some of these concepts. And it's free. It's not nothing that you have to pay for. You just got to spend a little time to listen. It is free. make contact with me, and I will ensure that you get the information. So now let me say this, we are now scheduled to meet on Monday. I got a lot of stuff to do on Monday. But as I've been warning, I've been telling you, keep your eyes open. Guys, something come up. Things are so fluid in Guyana now. Something come up. We might very well come again before Monday to bring the information to you. But as it is now, God spared life. We can come Monday with another episode. But again, the caveat is that we might very well come before that. It is for you people to make sure that you subscribe to the channel and to get the notification if we are going to come before Monday. Until we reach again, I implore you to stay safe, be well, and see you when we see you. Goodbye for now. Bye.